Hey, welcome everybody. It is Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Time for Sci-Fi
Hello.
Detail. And we are wrapping up our little, I guess, mini series on Indiana Jones. We
Yeah,
kind of started it and it kind of just took
it's
off.
been
So
fun. It's been really fun to go back and check out
yeah,
these movies again.
right. It has been. So we're gonna combine Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny, the last two that
Yes,
were
trying to hit
made
them both tonight.
in one show, since we didn't really have a lot on either or both, however you want to look at it. But I think before we get into that, you must have news.
I have news. I have news. Guys, I'm sad to announce that Robert Redford has passed. And I know he was not well known for sci-fi. You probably know him best for his dramas, but you may remember he did a little tiny bit. He was president. He was himself. He was Robert Redford as the president in the Watchmen series on HBO. He did a sci-fi movie called The Discovery back in 2017, and he did show up real quick in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I personally loved him in Sneakers. I know Sneakers isn't truly sci-fi, but I would love to do Sneakers sometime in the
Sneakers was
show.
a good movie. I do recommend Sneakers.
It was fun.
I wonder. I'd have to rewatch it. I wonder if it is a bit dated because that was all about technology and stuff like that, and that was pretty. It's probably over 20 years old now at least.
Didn't the answering machine feature prominently? He had like an answering machine on his desk, and didn't
Yeah,
that
I don't
feature?
remember. I haven't seen the movie in decades, so
Yeah.
I bet you it doesn't age well by today's.
I don't know.
standards.
Some of the jokes, like at the end when James Earl Jones shows up at the end, some of those jokes were.
I haven't, like I said, I don't even remember it that well. I do remember I liked it. It was a good movie, and I know I've seen it more than once, but I haven't seen it in literally decades.
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
So,
It just had a real good vibe to it. Just yeah, it was good. All right, so moving on.
anyway, news other than death.
Other than death, James Cameron says he is writing a new Terminator project. Yay, I guess. But he's having a hard time completing the story. And I quote, he told this to CNN. He said, "I've been tasked with writing a new Terminator story, but I've been unable to get very far. I don't know what to say that won't be overtaken by like real events. We're almost living in science fiction right now." James Cameron, you're not wrong.
Definitely a bit Orwellian for sure.
It is definitely a bit Orwellian. I don't know where he would go. We already the whole Skynet thing. Like I'm perpetually joking. Do you want Skynet? That's how we get Skynet with every new AI thing that comes out. So I don't know. He kind of has a point. Like where's he going to go? Like where does he go with it now?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, and that kind of reminds me of the joke from Deadpool Wolverine, where he's like, "They're gonna make you keep doing this till you're in your 90s. You're in your 90s," and there was just a meme recently about something else. They were bringing somebody back, like Patrick Stewart still doing stuff till you're 90.
You're gonna do it till you're 90.
And
I know, and right, if he does do it, does he bring back Arnold? Like, how does that?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you could, I guess, but you'd have to do
It'll have to be a new
stuff. I mean, you couldn't have him. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if that franchise is. Yeah, where do you go with it? Maybe what they should do with it is show after Skynet kind of blows up.
Yeah, how do the humans take back? That's called the Matrix.
Well, like start from that point and like how it all went bad. We kind of saw a little bit of that in T2. And then trying to stop it, but maybe after it's already happened, how Sarah does her thing, and you know what I'm saying, that kind of that gap in there. So I don't know. Maybe that's, I don't know, just spitballing.
Yeah, I don't know. James, I wish James Cameron.
I wish hate prequel stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I do want him to kind of take it out, not prequel, but hey, I don't know. It's his call. It's his baby.
I mean, what was it, the movie that the last one that, I don't even know. I can't even keep track of them. Don't they basically go to the future and get rid of the Skynet? Isn't it one of those movies? They basically get rid of it.
So now it's not Skynet, but I'm sure AI has a way to like save itself if we unplug it, and then it.
Well, that's the thing. It goes anyway. It's kind of like, remember the Lawnmower Man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We need to do that movie one of these nights.
Yeah. So that one, you just went into the internet, disappeared.
Yeah.
So Anyway, what else we got?
There's an animated show called Pantheon where they do that. Number 3, the 2025 Emmys came and went, and Severance walked away with 8 out of its 27 nominations. The crowd favorite was Stephen Colbert. You go, Stephen Colbert. But the win of the night, the one that I want to talk about, went to Dan Gilroy for Andor. He got Best Writing for a drama series. The episode in particular was Welcome to the Rebellion, which the crux of that episode, that's the episode where Mon Mothma gives that amazing speech to the Senate before she's whisked off to hiding with the rebellion. Andor season 2 won a total of 5 Emmys, including Best Editing, Best Visual Effects, Best Costume Design, and Best Production Design. And of course, this writing one that I just mentioned, out of its 14 nominations. You go, Andor. Very proud of you. And I think I want to go back and watch it all again.
Take note.
Take notes.
I mean, what did they do right there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The whole thing was just so amazing. It made me want to watch it again. I did
just recently rewatch it. Yeah, and you pick up more stuff all the time. You know, little stuff that you missed the first time.
Oh yeah, all the time. But Mon Mothma's speech was great. But I thought the speech that should have got it was the other kid's speech. The kid that got killed.
Oh, the kid, his manifesto. They were kind of reading it again.
Yes. And you hear that again. You hear the one Empire guy listening to it.
Yes.
At the end.
The guy that ends up killing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ends up because he realizes that the genie's out of the bottle.
Yes.
They kind of allude to that. It's like it's going to get. You can't stop it now. It's out there, and So I love that. I love that twist that here we have this kind of like this geeky, quiet kid who really didn't look like he was fit for combat, and yet he's the catalyst almost for getting everybody behind the rebellion, basically.
Yeah. The other thing we quote a lot in our house is the line about you're making me use. How does it go? Hola, Pablo Flamenco, if you're listening, type me out that line. It's like you're making me use the tools of my enemy. And I hate you for that. It was something like that. It was such a good line, but it's like how we feel now, like how we feel in real life now. You're making me use the tools of my enemy to fight back against you. It just the whole thing. I may do a little rewatch of that one. It's just
it's worth rewatching. Like I said, I almost started it right after it ended. I started back at the beginning again, and because it's really there's been some really good videos. There's one, I don't know if you ever watched this guy. He's kind of funny because he's always like kind of negative. So take that with a grain of salt. But he goes by the Critical Drinker.
I know Critical Drinker.
Scottish guy. So and he does some really good videos. Sometimes he's a little too harsh on stuff, but he's usually pretty much nails the right on the head because some of the stuff he's been saying is like TV kind of sucks right now, and it's not that the shows aren't good. It's that we have to wait. We get 8 episodes, and then we got to wait 3 years to get more. I ever agree with that. And he's so right. He goes, we become completely divested in these shows. We don't even care because it's been so long. We don't remember what happened. We don't like. He said he had a great point. He's like, back in the day, he kept using shots of Stargate SG-1, but I think any of those shows from those late 90s and even early, when we got 25 episodes, and they were once a week, and you got to watch the episode. You look forward to watching the episode,
and you remember the plot as it went along.
When the season ended, you only had like 3 or 4 months before the next season started again, the new season. So it was like, it's still fresh in your head. You were still talking about the end of the last season. Now you're getting excited about the new season. So you kind of it was always fresh. And he has a really great point. Now it's like, I couldn't even tell you what happened at the end of the last Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. Same thing that happened with Game of Thrones. I ended up having to watch usually the last few episodes of a season to remember what the hell happened so that when we get to the new, because the recaps they give you stink.
Yeah, they're horrible. I have to go back and either watch the last episode to try to remember.
So, I don't, why is this? Why does it take them so long, years to produce 10 episodes?
I don't know. The first time it really happened, where it was a long gap, was The Sopranos. And we were all like, what the hell? And we all thought, well, that's an aberration. That'll never happen again.
Yeah,
and now it's
Sopranos at least used to be like 15 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, they were the ones that you're right. They were the ones that really started the whole thing of shorter seasons and longer gaps.
Yes.
But that was always like an HBO thing. But now everybody does it. And it's really the one show I will give you that is at least not doing it is Only Murders in the Building. Which if you don't watch that, you should. It's
Yes,
really
I love Murder.
It's a
I
very
love it. I
clever
love it. I
show.
haven't
It's
seen
fun.
this
It
season
doesn't
yet,
take
but
a
I
lot of
love
brain
it.
power. Yeah, it's very good. It's you guys don't know it's Steve Martin
It's, and Martin Short
Martin Short and I
and
can't
Selena
think of her name.
Gomez. And it's
Selena
quite
Gomez.
Selena Gomez. It's quite good. It's funny. It's light. It's fluffy. You don't need a
Yes,
lot of
we know
brain
it's about
power, but
murder.
it's really entertaining. Like
So, but they will put out. It seems like at least we're getting them once a year, if shorter than that.
yeah, they're cranking right along. Yeah,
They're on season 4, I think now, 4 or 5.
yeah,
And
4 or 5. But Rizzo, you and the critical trigger are absolutely right. They just this shortened season bullshit is not working, and it's not working in a lot of ways. Because the other way I'm thinking of is the Strange New Worlds way, where it's like, no, we're not going to sing because you only have 8 episodes, and we're
yeah,
not the only people who think
he had a whole episode on.
That's like making the
Yeah.
rounds. That philosophy is making the rounds, and I'm seeing it in
He
other
did an
Star
episode
Trek.
on that, and it was basically what I've been saying all along: is
Yeah.
you don't have the time
See,
to
he
put
must have
these
been watching
nonsense
us,
episodes in
and
there.
then he picked up on it.
Yeah. Yes,
The
he
line
watched
just-
our show. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. He watched us, and now he knows. Just super quick, I want to loop back to the Andor. The line that I'm thinking of that I love, love, love from Andor that I use a lot now is, "I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. What did I sacrifice? Everything." And that's a line from Skarsgård, Stellan Skarsgård, whose character, what's his name? Whatever, you guys know who I mean. Just no, amazing, well-deserved Andor, good for you.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Finally tonight, short seasons exhausted writers and actors. I would say no. The reason, at least that's not. I don't buy that because you got people like Taylor Sheridan who's pumping out enough shows for Paramount. When you look at all the shows for Paramount, they're all Taylor Sheridan, written by Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And it's all and the actors, we're always getting new actors. I mean, the actors are not, we're always getting new actors. People are coming in and going. Yes. It's not like we're dealing with the same. So, no, I don't think that's it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the cost of production and I know it's much more competition. When you had 3 networks and that's all you had to watch, they had to put something on. So now it's all competition to get your dollars for those subscriptions. And I get that.
That's true. That's true.
And I guess the cost is, they're spending, but the joke was, like Disney spent how much on the Acolyte? It was like what, $26 million or something ridiculous.
Scads.
And they did Andor on less than half of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and everyone was like, "Where did the money go?" Like,
why did they give her a blank check? And
yeah, people were getting so upset. Like, where did all the money go? What the hell? Like,
well, that's what they're all claiming. The people that enjoyed it are claiming, "Oh, it was because of fans' negative, toxic fandom that got it canceled." I'm like, no, it got canceled because nobody watched it because it wasn't good, and they spent way too much money, so their return on investment stunk. And they only care about return on investment. They don't really care what the fans think, as long as they're making money.
They don't care what the fans think.
All they care about is return on investment, and it wasn't there. So,
guys, when it comes to show business, and I really, I love the show part of it, but it's the business. It's a business, and we got to remember that all the time. And I know, guys.
Well, next time you got to put being sarcastic because we can't pick up.
Yeah, I suppose.
Can't pick sarcasm from text. So anyway, all right. Anything else
tonight? Let me wrap it up. Star Trek. I got one more piece of information here. Star Trek. Guys, is it now official? Star Trek and Doctor Who, they're in the same universe. Is it official now? Maybe, possibly. At one point next week, before we do V for Vendetta, we will do a super fast wrap up of Star Trek Strange New Worlds this past season because the last one just aired. At one point in this last episode that just aired, the season finale, the engineer Pelia, played by Carol Kane, reveals that she once went on some adventures with a time traveling doctor, which everyone thinks, okay, maybe it's Doctor Who. Well, you also, if you were looking in a previous episode, season 3, episode 6, it's the sea lion who ate its own tail. If you look real close, you see a teeny tiny TARDIS right behind the Enterprise, right after it's swallowed by that scavenger ship. You gotta look. Is it just a nod to Doctor Who? Yes, probably. But in all seriousness, Alexander, what's his name? Goldsman said.
There have been comics, I believe. Crossover.
Yes, there have been comics that's crossover. He said, we always dreamed of a crossover. We talked about a crossover. I think if it was up to Russell T Davies, we would have had it. It would have already been done. So, yeah, guys, is this going to happen? I don't know. I don't think so. Do I want it to happen? No, not really.
I don't really think so. Not with this current crop of the way they're.
Not with this current crop of writers.
You know,
I don't think they can do it justice.
The other thing, I was watching it the other day, and it dawned on me because it was Scotty and Kirk together, and I'm like, you know what's also not lining up? Scotty was always much older than Kirk, and clearly in this timeline is not the case. He is much younger than Kirk, because if Kirk's already almost a captain and Scotty's only an ensign or something at this point, or barely a lieutenant, or they're close in age, but clearly on the original series, Scotty was at least 10 years his senior.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That didn't jive with me either, but that's minor because clearly this is.
Yeah, I mean, of all things I'm going to get mad about, that's
not going to get mad. It's just something I thought about the other day.
Yeah,
wait a minute, Scotty couldn't be younger than Kirk. Anyway, it is what it is. We know.
It is what it is.
We're gonna cover Strange New Worlds with Phil on the show. That should be interesting because he's
yeah, it'll be you and me. We'll put up the 3-minute timer and we'll just blow through.
We'll put Phil in the bullpen.
We'll put Phil in the bullpen. Poor Phil.
All right. Well, he loves it.
He loves all that stuff.
The musical episode, and we tried not to hold that against him, but it's really hard not to. All right.
Oh, poor Phil. All right. Do we have a drink while we're drinking?
Oh yeah, I had a drink. We have a drink. I actually found one that fit, and this is of course from the most current movie, and it's the Antikythera cocktail, which remember that was in the Dial of Destiny. That was the thing they were looking for underwater. So basically the other half of the dial.
Yeah.
So risky, overproofed rum, which is basically, I believe, 151. Almond liqueur, coconut water, pineapple juice, lemon juice, peach bitters. I'm not sure what that is. I've never had peach bitters. And garnished with a lemon and mint. So sounds pretty refreshing, even though it's the end of summer. Try it out.
All right.
So
check it out. Could be good.
Could be good. So anyway, all right. So we're going to start with the fourth installment of the Indiana Jones series, which was 08's Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yes.
This takes place in, I believe, the 1950s, right?
50s. Yeah, and this is the one thing I'm going to give him credit for. The first 3 movies were a nod to the serials of the maybe even the late 30s, but mostly the 1940s. And admittedly, this is a nod to the B sci-fi movies, maybe C or D level sci-fi movies of the 1950s. So good for you. You tried real hard. I'm going to give you credit there. Now let's talk about the movie.
So, yeah. So we start out, interestingly enough, in Nevada and at Area 51. I don't know if they actually say it's Area 51.
They don't say it, but you have to.
Yeah, you imply that that's where it is. And we're back at the warehouse where the Ark of the Covenant has been relost, we'll call it, or stored.
It's tucked in there. You get a glimpse of it.
That we went there, and of course they had to show that it was there by, at the very end of
knocking its box open.
They had the box, and you could see there it is. And we didn't know it was in there somewhere. It wasn't not necessary to ever see it. We know it's in there. There's a lot of suspension of disbelief in this movie, more so I think than the usual for an Indiana Jones movie. I found it ridiculous that this thing was so magnetic that he could throw up, shotgun, whatever the hell he was tossing into
Yeah,
the air,
and
and it
did
would
you
float along.
notice
There was so much magnetism. It's like if
so much
it was
magnetism and the
that
lights were
strong,
leaving?
if it was
But did
that
you
strong,
notice?
then yeah, there would always be something
Yeah. Did you
drawn
notice
to
the
it.
magnetism was like sometimes delayed reaction magnetism? Like it
Well, it
only
also
worked when
was
they wanted it to.
selective. It also only drew, sometimes it would grab things and only, at certain times it would work and other times it wouldn't work on certain
It was
objects. So
not consistent.
that's
It was
why I
not a
thought that
consistent
was kind of
magnetism.
a stupid thing, but whatever. So it's based on, of course, you guys, I don't know if you know the crystal skulls that do exist in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not alien looking. They look like human skulls, and there are some.
They
I
have
think
been
Nimoy did a one
in
back in the
search of.
day
For a
in
hot
search
minute, we
of,
weren't sure, but it has
because
since been
basically
proven they
they
are
said they
human
mentioned it.
made.
There were no tool marks on it, that it was so perfectly made. It probably was cast, I would assume. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
They've since done studies on it and realized, this is human made. This was never anything supernatural.
So, but anyway, that's kind of where they were going with this. Of course, the crystal skull is this weird alien looking skull. Now, for Indiana Jones, I think to go into alien, as opposed, he was always with more religious myth, whether it be Christian
Much more
or
real life
Indian
myth.
or something else. You know what I'm saying? It was always
aliens, real life myths too. But
well,
like I
I mean,
said at
there
the top of
is.
the show, this was meant to have been a nod to the sci-fi, the B sci-fi movies, and I get that. But you're right; it's not the nod that Indy should have taken. Indy wouldn't have. Indy should have stuck to what Indy sticks to.
Yeah, I mean, so they do a little bit more background on him of what he did during the war. That he was working for basically like the CIA or MI6 or whatever, and doing undercover stuff for the war. So that I thought that was kind of interesting because they had to work in the other guy that kept screwing him over, which seemed to be a theme now with these movies, is that he always has somebody with him that's duplicitous. Like he's always like, you don't know if they're gonna.
Wait, was Mac Dial of Destiny or
Mac
Mac was Crystal Skull?
Mac was Crystal Skull.
I'm on the right movie.
And then we find out, of course, that he was with Marion, but then he got separated from Marion again. And then apparently he had a son that he didn't know about.
They didn't know that. Surprise.
Unfortunately, nicknamed Mutt. I don't know where they came up with that. Mutt is a greaser type of character from the 50s, leather jacket, blue jeans. And it's unfortunately played by one of my least favorite actors with Shia LaBeouf. I don't know. I just, the thing with this movie is they could have taken him out entirely and it wouldn't have made a difference, in my opinion. I don't think his character was not integral at all to the story. You could have taken Shia out completely.
Yeah, you probably could have
reworked it so that he just wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they had to wedge that in there. It was nice to see Marion back, him, adventuring with him again.
Yeah, and those two are still great together. They're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a good chemistry with those two.
Yeah.
We all remember we talked about during Temple of Doom that he that was prior to Raiders, so his little stint with what's her name,
Marion.
Willie Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Was not relevant. And so the only thing is he doesn't really that's the only thing that we don't, again, doesn't mention Marion in Last Crusade at all, I don't think. So anyway, clearly they have an on again, off again.
She might have got mentioned in passing, but yeah.
So anyway, the basic story is this skull, and it's got to get back. It's a whole Mayan thing, and they got to go find the basically it's El Dorado is what they're looking for.
Yeah, looking for El Dorado, and we're back with Nazis again, which is okay.
No, they're not Nazis. They're communists.
What are they? What's her name? What's Galadriel there?
She's communist.
Oh, they're just communists in general.
They're Soviets.
Okay, they're just Soviets.
Okay,
I thought we were back with Nazis.
In the 50s to have the Soviets as the bad guy.
That's fair. That's fair. Sputnik. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I still ain't mad at
it. No, it's okay. They need to have the bad guys somehow. So Soviets are just as good as any. I mean, at this point, and in the 50s, with McCarthyism and everything, communism, of
Oh, yeah.
course, it just fit the.
So that
I
part
just
plays
find it
quite well.
ridiculous that they were able to break into a top secret, high security military facility
Well, they were just
that
as
easily.
yeah. Well, they were just as the American
I
soldiers,
know,
weren't
but
they?
even then, you still wouldn't. I mean, come on, you have to kill the guards at the gate because that's the only way you're going to get past them anyway. You aren't
They
going to.
had to like race with
You
the
don't
greaser
bluff
in
your
the
way in
car.
just because you're wearing a
They
uniform.
had to do like Red Hot American Summer. No, not what's that? What's that George Lucas movie that Harrison Ford was in way back in the day? They had to do that stint.
Oh, you're talking about yeah, no, American Graffiti.
American Graffiti. Yeah, they had a little American Graffiti moment where they're racing with the car.
Yeah, in the beginning. Yeah, it starts out. And in fact, at first I thought when I first saw that movie, I thought the kids that were in the hot rod were going to end up being the Russian agents, and they were messing with the Americans to get them, and then eventually cause them
See,
to
that would have
crash.
been a better twist.
Yeah, that's what I originally thought. All these, they're like Russian agents or something, and they're the ones going to cause the military guys to crash or something.
Yeah. So we go to we get to the warehouse, we get the magnetic thing, off it goes, and then up pops Shia LaBeouf at a.
They end up in
There's some jump cut there, like you have
yeah.
to like do the math. Oh, he's on the train. He's leaving on the train, and
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf is riding his motorcycle alongside the train.
Yes.
And then cut to they're both in a cafe. Like, oh, I guess he got off the train.
He got off the train. Yeah.
He got off the train.
So yeah, it's like I said, you could have took him out of it, rewritten a few things, and I don't think
we didn't need him. He just was angry a lot of the time, and
yeah, it was like he was just an annoying character.
Yeah,
and of course, we don't find out that he's actually his son, although you probably already figured it out as soon as he shows up. Till about halfway through the movie, I think, when she finally tells him.
Yeah, when she tells him,
this is your son. So, yeah. So basically, they go through some stuff. They end up in El Dorado, which I always think is funny because, by the 50s, you'd think most of the world, or at least a lot of continents, would have been at least flown over. And somebody would have seen the lost city sitting there. In the 30s, you could say, well, planes weren't. But by the 50s, we were transatlantic, aircraft were pretty much a standard.
yeah,
we're talking about, I would think a lot of those areas would have been.
If they were going to not be sci-fi movies in the 50s, they should have done Atlantis or maybe the Bermuda Triangle.
Something that wouldn't have been like sticking up out of the jungle, really obviously.
Yeah.
So anyway, I always find that kind of funny. I'm like, there's no place on this planet that we haven't at least mapped, because especially now.
Although movies do that routinely, and we always just
but it's just something I always
we
think
need
of.
it for the story to happen.
Well, yeah,
so
they
anyway,
end up in South America, find El Dorado, because the skull has to go back into its place. They do have, was it John Hurt again playing a guy that John Hurt plays all the time?
Yeah, but he did good.
Crazy guy. It's like John Hurt's thing. So he's
okay with John Hurt.
Well, I'm okay with him. I'm just saying I was thinking about it. I was like, he always plays the same kind of character. Maybe they should have had something pop out of his chest. Oh no, not again.
I just watched Alien Earth before we did this. Last episode.
I haven't watched the current one. So anyway, so they get the thing back in place, and of course, once that happens, all hell breaks loose. And it turns out that they're not just aliens; they're interdimensional aliens. Which I don't know why they had to add that twist to it, but so apparently by putting the head back on the skeleton, it made the ship come to life, and it went back to wherever it came from. Of course, destroying the entire city in the process and flooding it so that there is no visual evidence that it was ever there. So that's the movie.
And it's only John Hurt's back to normal again, like he said.
And that's somehow after, because it was the skull that made him, because of the skull, if you look at it too long,
made him all
like to talk to you or something, and makes you. So he was crazy.
So the pros to this thing is it diddy bops right along. It doesn't dawdle. It goes right along. It's got a couple fun moments. I mean, it's got some very classic Indiana Jones moments. There's a lot of chases and Like these movies are chases upon chases upon chases upon action sequences over and over and over.
That's why we go. We're not there to.
That's why we go.
They aren't supposed to be deep thinkers.
Yeah.
They are. The action is good. This movie was not received well. I don't know what it did financially as far as what it cost.
Oh, I have it right in front of me. It did cost 185 million and it grossed 786 million. So about 6 times what it cost. That in Hollywood is a hit.
And we were all kind of hoping, because Harrison, he was probably in his late 60s, something like that, when he did this film. Somewhere in there. I don't know when he was born, but he was born in 1930. Was it 1942? I think he was born. So yeah,
so he was my mother.
So now. So he was probably in his 60s because this was almost
20 years ago. This was 2000, or was the date on this thing? 2008.
17 years ago.
17 years ago, yeah. Yep.
So he was probably in his 60s. So he was still able to, so when we get to the next movie, which was only 2 years ago.
Yes.
He's clearly much older, but they did a really good job of even de-aging, I think.
They de-aged
as the older version.
Some people complained a little bit about Uncanny Valley, but I thought he looked pretty good. Just before we start with the next one, the budget of this next one was somewhere between 295 and 387. They haven't pinned that down. It only made 384. This one, Dial of Destiny, is officially a flop. So let's dive in.
Oh, all right. We're only going to give this one 10 minutes.
No. It's only 7:30.
We got a good half an hour to go here. Anyway, we can go to Dial of Destiny. We can compare and contrast. So
we did about 15 minutes.
This movie also got a lot of people didn't like for some reason. I didn't really actually mind it. I think I was like, do we need another Indiana Jones movie? Of course, now we're up to the late 60s because it pretty much starts with the moon landing, or at least reference to the moon landing.
Yeah.
We don't see that, but we know that it happened
parade
day, right day in the middle of the parade, and it starts actually with them during World War II and him on the train with the Nazis.
Oh yeah, there's a flashback.
And I was gonna say,
what is that actor's name?
This is the first movie though that we see where we have that pre-Indiana Jones, like in the first movie we saw him trying to get the fertility idol and he loses it, and then in the second movie he was supposed to get the diamond for the Nurhachi and he loses both of those, so he doesn't end up with either one of them at the end of that sequence. And then in the Last Crusade, he gets the cross of El Dorado or something or whatever it was. Yeah. No, he gets the cross and he loses that, but they take it away from him. So I don't know, what was Crystal Skull? Did that start? That didn't even start with him. I guess he was already in trouble at this point. That movie didn't have the little story, if you will. No, but this movie, they have the pre-story, but he actually finally ends up with the thing,
the item.
Something. He actually gets away with it. So anyway, the basic plot is that this is about Archimedes, and I like this plot better than
I like things that are pretty nicely anchored in history.
It's more like archaeology kind of thing, like myths and things that we know about, like Da Vinci, or it could have been Da Vinci. This was clearly it was Archimedes. And he invents a clock basically that can predict when there's these rifts that you could obviously travel through. If you could, I guess it somehow it doesn't create them. It doesn't create them. It just predicts where they're going to be.
Predicts where it's going to open up.
Yeah. So theoretically, you could use this to travel around in time. The Nazi guy that loses it in the beginning of the movie, played by our good friend from Rogue One there. I got to get that up. What's his name?
Who are you looking for?
I'm on the wrong movie.
Oh, Toby Jones? No, the
No,
Nazi?
no.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
yeah, Mads.
So
Yeah, it's Mads.
he's been in a ton of stuff. But you know they didn't. So he plays the bad guy in this one, but his goal is not. He just wants to go back and get rid of Hitler so that he can replace Hitler
Yeah, he
because
just wants
Hitler
to make
made so many bad mistakes during the war that he was going to correct them and then win the war.
And when they finally go, the way they did it was with like circling clouds, and it was it gave me really strong. Do you guys ever remember the Bermuda Triangle on Flight 19? It gave me really strong Flight 19 vibes. And for a hot minute, I was like, oh God, please don't make this supernatural. Please don't. They didn't. They kept it. I mean, there may have been some woo-woo stuff going on there in order for them to travel through time, but they kept it.
Yeah, well, actually, the transition, the only thing was like they went through a hole in the cloud and it went from
They went through a hole in the clouds, yeah.
They went through storm to sunny day, and then for some reason it killed the engines on the airplanes that they were flying. But they were able to restart them, so you know, whatever. That was just for drama, I think.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought was so stupid is why were they flying? So we're already kind of jumping to the end of the movie because what happens is they get the dial, the guy uses it, they figure out that, but he doesn't. Apparently, Indy at the last minute figures out that the dial didn't take into account continental drift for whatever reason.
Yeah, so he went to the wrong. Yeah,
his calculations are wrong. So they don't go back to 1938 Germany. They go back to 2,000 years. They go back to to Sicily and some big battle with the Romans and Greece, I guess it was, I think.
And who's there? Archimedes.
The Battle of Syracuse. And not the one
Syracuse.
in New York. Not that Syracuse. And who, of course, is there? Of course, is Archimedes. But once they go through and they're flying around over this battle that's taking place on ships and the siege of Syracuse, why were they flying so low that spears could reach?
There was
even if the first time they get shot at, when you go, okay, let's get some altitude on these idiots, because the spear's only going to go like maybe 100 feet in the air.
Yeah, and at one point, one of the baddies was just like randomly shooting down. It's like, what are you doing? Don't.
Yeah, the one guy with the mustache who you knew was just like the stupid, he's like shooting at him with a pistol.
Here's the thing.
That's what I was just like, why are you flying so low if you're literally being shot at and they're hitting you?
Yeah. And then for a hot minute, you think Indy's going to stay there, but then he doesn't. So that's good.
Well, he wanted to. Helena knocks him out and drags him, which was the right thing because we know if he stayed. But we all know that this already happened.
Yes.
In other words, it's one of those
self-fulfilling
loop things because they found the watch in the tomb with Archimedes, and the fact that he drew the plane on his tomb, we knew that if that wasn't foreshadowing you enough, I don't know, maybe we need to foreshadow you with a hammer because yes, they're going back in time with the plane.
Here's the thing about this movie is we just skipped from the beginning basically to the end. And we skipped over so many chase scenes and underwater scenes and eels and this, and then she's fighting with the fiance and they're over here and they go over there and they have to go over. There was so much in this movie, most of which I think could have been cut out or skipped. I can't believe I'm saying it. But, and I also, the other thing, you know what, you guys, I didn't like the character, Phoebe Waller, what's her name's character?
Yeah.
Was she a thief? Was she
was basically out for herself to make money. That's all she cared about. She didn't care about
That's all she cared about. Like she was kind of doing Indiana dirty a bunch of times.
Yeah, so again, like I said, just like Mac in the previous movie, she's kind of the same character where she's like helping him but then stabbing him in the back. Clearly, by the end of the movie, towards the end, she's obviously she's helping him, and she's that's her character. I mean, she was a really hot flash in the pan a couple of years ago. She had that show, and it was a good show called Fleabag. I don't know if you ever watched it.
Was it Fleabag or Mrs. Maisel? I get those two mixed up.
No, Fleabag. She wasn't in Maisel. Maisel was a different show entirely.
To me,
No,
they're both the same. I haven't seen either of them. So.
it's a funny show, and she wrote it, and she acted in it, but I think it gave her more street cred than she deserved. I'm not saying she's a bad actress and everything, but
she was
it just
fine,
didn't work.
I
I
guess.
agree. I don't think it would have been nice to have him had somebody that was like Short Round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Teddy, that kid Teddy.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, whatever. I would greatly have preferred Short Round.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
someone
it was
with a little more.
I wonder
life
if they were
blood.
trying to, if this movie was a success, if they were going to set her up as the successor. You know, they love to trend to change the genders of people. Not that they would make, but she would basically take the mantle. And if they had done something, thank God, like he gave her the hat at the end, I would have vomited.
Yeah.
But
luckily,
I wonder, I wonder if that's what they were thinking. That if this goes well, she could be the next Indiana Jones. Because, obviously Harrison, but not really, because they could just recreate any Indiana Jones movie and just digitally put him in. And like I said, they've got a guy that can do his voice perfectly that's doing the video games.
Jeff is saying, I liked her better as L3 in Solo. Yeah, you know what? So did I. She was better as L3 in Solo.
Like I said, she has her place, but I think she was again, I think, given too much credit or whatever you want to put. The other thing that cracked me up in this movie, like you said, they're all over the place. You get somebody as great as Antonio Banderas, and he has like 4 lines, and then they kill him.
Yeah, he has nothing to do, and he's just suddenly like, "Hey, my old friend," and then wait, what?
He's like,
backstory in this guy.
Yeah, like 10 minutes later, he's dead.
Yeah. He's dead.
Even John Rhys Davies, they kind of, I'm like, they were trying to pull, it seems like in this movie, something from every single previous movie, Indiana Jones movie, like a gag or a nod to it, whether it was the eels with the snakes, the bugs.
They were, and it was supposed to make you feel all warm and fuzzy.
If you keep watching things, like their action scenes, you'll see things, that they pulled that from that. Like, okay, we're gonna have this thing or that.
Yeah.
They kept,
and we were supposed to appreciate that, but you know what? For some reason, I didn't.
It didn't work.
And here's the thing. I'm about to confess right now, live on Sci-Fi Distilled. I saw both these movies when they came out, and when they both came out, and I saw them. My memory was I did not like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I was kind of okay with Dial of Destiny. Now I just rewatched both of them because it had been a hot minute. Well, it'd been 2 years since Dial of Destiny, but it had been a hot minute since Kingdom League. And you know what, you guys? I liked Crystal Skull better. I really did. Dial of Destiny, I found boring. It just was chase after chase, like what's the word? Would it have a purpose? Like non-purpose chase after non-purpose chase after non-purpose chase. Like nothing ever happened. It didn't really advance the story. They were just chasing around for the.
They didn't. The other thing that this movie didn't have, although I would disagree, I still think this is better of the two. The other thing I think that this movie lacked, and so did Crystal Skull, was the puzzle part of, where he was trying to figure out what things, like
they did it. Those scenes were there. I saw them. They were there. They weren't.
They were too brief. Like it wasn't. There was no.
They were brief and not clever enough.
They found the tomb very quickly. That was like there was no challenge there. You know what I'm saying? The tomb of Archimedes, what they were looking, so they look for the other half.
The thing where he's like, "Oh, Archimedes like water displacement." Then I perked up, because here's the thing, guys. If I'm watching a movie home and I pick up my phone and I'm on my phone, that's bad. That's bad. That means the movie's boring. So I was on my phone, Dial of Destiny's playing, and they get to the part about being in Archimedes' tomb, and he's like, "Archimedes like water displacement," and I was like, "Whoop."
This is what I'm talking about.
Finally.
Like, so there's like a puzzly thing, So that's the kind of. But again, everything was too fast. Like they didn't take them a while to figure it out. And I think that's part of the cool. You're right. So you need that little break, kind of like where they're figuring things out and they're not being attacked.
Yeah. You need to. You need some logic.
So we brought Nazis back in as our bad guy.
I'm okay with that.
We find out also that his son is killed, we assume, in Vietnam.
We think Vietnam, yeah.
Because he said something about joining up. Now, he would have got drafted anyway, so he was like, "Oh, I should have talked about joining." He's like, "He would have got drafted." So.
Yeah, there were so many things that they were trying to do, and they just didn't do any of them justice. They could have tightened the whole thing up. I mean, really tightened it up. We didn't need the whole car chase scene through Morocco. Where were they?
This was actually the longest of any.
It was long, yeah.
It was
There
over
were
two and
so
a half
many things
hours.
that
Although
they just
15
didn't
minutes,
need.
I always check this. 13 and a half minutes was credits
Wow.
at the end. There's
Helena
13 and
could
a
have
half
been
minutes.
written better. I would have rather seen shorts. I would have rather seen pretty much anyone back again besides, well, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. Dial of Destiny just, it didn't do it for me, guys. It should have. It should have, because I love me some Indy.
I think I would have liked. Yeah, I would have liked to seen him like in the other movies.
Or maybe it was
He
just the
had like his
mindset I was in
father.
that day.
He had like somebody companion that did have his back, and you knew had his back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When Sala said, "I'll go with you," and he still told him no, I was like, "No, you should have brought him with him." Because you know what I mean? Like,
because
you
didn't have anybody to really back you up. And this movie, again, we had the kind of duplicitous. You never know what she was going to do.
Yeah.
Eventually, she comes around and does the right thing. But
I guess, but
I don't know. I mean, just from an entertaining, I found this one more entertaining than Crystal Skull. I mean, but whatever.
I thought Crystal.
It
You
wasn't
know
like
what?
the
This
first
Crystal
time I
Skull
watched
moved
it. I
right
guess
along.
I had already heard. I didn't see it in the theater. I waited till it came out on Disney or something, and I'd heard already people have a lot of mixed feelings about it, so I kind of already had that. Oh, let's see what's going to be, and I was like, it's entertaining. I mean, which is all the movie really needs to be. I mean, it kept me interested for the time I watched it. So, I mean, same thing for Crystal Skull for the most part. I just didn't like the storyline, and I don't like Shia LaBeouf.
No, I didn't like
That kind
Shia.
of
And you're
killed it
right.
for me.
I mean, the storyline, I get why they chose that subject matter. I get it. I get why they chose it for the third time, is because they were doing a nod to the science movies of the 50s. Yay. But it wasn't right for Indy. But that thing moved right along. It chugged right along. It was tight. It kept going. You got one thing led right to the next, and you knew, you know what I mean? It was great. When you got to Dial of Destiny, it was just this loosey-goosey meandering, like, we're going here, we're going there, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like, it never really got to the point, which drove me kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, yeah, they were looking for the dial, obviously.
They were looking for the second half of the dial, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the point, of course, once they got it.
Which then, of course, brought them to Archimedes.
Right. I mean, that's when I think it kind of goes off the rails. And for my opinion, it wasn't because they always have the big ending with the whether it was
with somebody's face melting,
something along that line, where you have this thing where we finally get the thing that we're looking for, and this is why we shouldn't have it. And this one, though, kind of went beyond a step beyond, because it became a very large part of the end of the movie. And of course, it brings up a lot of the old questions. If you go back in time, you change things. But clearly, this was meant to happen.
Yeah.
It was meant to happen. And that's another theory that people have, is that, okay, well, you were meant to go back in time and change, and that's how we are. But we wouldn't know if time changed, because
we wouldn't know. Yeah.
So I think the whole thing with meeting Archimedes, and of course, it just, the odds that particular portal through time ended up
right to the Battle of Syracuse,
right where in 2,000 years, but right where Archimedes was when he was working on the dial during the Battle of Syracuse, which they had talked about previously in the movie. I mean, it was just like too many little convenient things lined up to make it. They could have ended up anywhere in time at any place. And although I guess you don't move through space, only through time.
Through time,
they're still basically.
So they should have still been over Italy. Well, whatever. Dial of Destiny, it could have and should have been so much better, but I gotta say, it just didn't do it for me. I can't believe I'm actually ranking Crystal Skull. But anyway, I agree with you, Bill Sotak. If I'm going to watch an indie movie, I'm going to sit down and watch 1, Raiders, or 3, Last Crusade. That's my jam right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it that those are the two best. And
yes.
I know a lot of people, like I said, we talked about it when we did Temple of Doom, didn't like it. And then I always felt it got a little too much hate for what it was. I thought it was okay. It's not better than the other two by any means. I mean, it's a far third. But the funny thing is if we look at that movie now, the same way I kind of thought about, we didn't like the Star Wars prequels when they came out. But now
Yeah,
we
and
look
now we're
back
like,
and
oh,
go,
you know
they're
what?
not so bad now that we're looking at the
Really?
current.
That wasn't that bad.
Oh, it's
We can
like
go
the
back.
same. I think I was laughing to myself. I'm like, it's the same thing. It's like we didn't. Now we're like, oh, the prequels aren't so bad. Now that we look at the rise of Skywalker and stuff like that, and we're like, yeah, it's so yeah.
And Bill, the other point that Bill just made, well, Chris was saying it was trying for fan service, but didn't have heart. Yeah, Chris, I think that's a really great assessment. It was trying for fan service. It did try to hit on some notes, but it just didn't have the same heart. Bill is saying at least it looked like Indy and Marion are back doing Indiana things by the end of the movie. Yeah, and the thing is I don't know if you noticed, but they're closing in on the hat. They washed the hat, like literally saying they hung his hat up. He's hung his hat up, like he's done.
Yeah,
And they're closing in, and then the last second he reaches out and grabs it and pulls it back in. So maybe he's not done. Maybe there's another Indiana Jones movie coming. To which I say, dear God, Harrison Ford, more power to you. You're doing this in your 80s.
Harrison is
love you.
still pretty active acting. I mean, if you've seen,
If you've seen him on Shrink, is he on Shrink? No,
he's
what's
on
he on?
Shrink. Yeah, Shrinking, which is a great show.
Shrinking,
It's on Apple,
yeah.
by the way. That's a comedy.
It's a really cute show.
Very,
yeah.
very good. Highly recommend Shrinking. And what else? He was just in something else recently. What the heck was he in?
He was in the Captain America, one of the movies, one of the Marvel movies. He played the president. He turns into Red Hulk.
Harrison Ford? Oh, see, I don't know. I've been kind of not watching those. No, it was something else. There was something else. I think a TV show that he was in. Whatever. The thing is, the guy's still working, and he's in his 80s. So I don't know if we're going to see him as Indiana Jones in a movie, unless like he said, even in this one, they de-aged him.
Yeah.
When he was old, they clearly de-aged him when he was doing the World War II bit in the beginning.
Yeah, and it was fine. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it didn't look good. It didn't look right on Uncanny Valley. I was fine with it. It was okay.
No, I thought the deep fake that they did the de-aging was good. I didn't really see it. They've gotten really good at that.
They had a de-age him and Toby Jones, which is kind of funny. But anyway, Toby Jones is another one who crops up every now and again. He's in Marvel too.
Yeah. So but like I said, they could keep making any of these movies now, as long as they can get the voices fixed, which I think eventually even they can do it probably artificially.
If they could get James Earl Jones to give his voice to Darth Vader in perpetuity, they could probably get Harrison to give his voice to both Han and Indy.
Like I said, they have a voice actor that they have a voice actor.
Oh yeah, Harrison was in 1923. Is that what you're thinking of?
That was the one I was trying to think of. Thank you.
Thanks.
That was one I was trying to think of. Like I said, they've got a voice actor that is uncanny. Even Harrison was like, "Holy crap!" He sounds just like him. Even when he does the little whoa, like he's gonna fall, like he's got it down. It's him. It's if you've ever played, I don't know if you guys I don't think sometimes I think I'm the only video gamer that plays stuff, but they just last about a year ago or so, not even. They came out with the new Indiana Jones game and which is the Great Circle. I think it's called Indiana Jones. Great Circle. And a lot of it gets back to, again, the roots of what we loved about Indiana Jones. There's fighting in it. But there's a lot of puzzles.
Is there actual archaeology in it? Because that's
again, he's looking for this thing called the Great Circle, which is you have to get pieced together what it is, why it's called that. He goes to different locations around the world, and he ends up in a lot of tombs and dungeons and things where you have to figure out puzzles and move things and line things up in the right order to open doors. And it's like water flowing and get the water to flow the right place. A lot of those just puzzles. They're just puzzles.
Yeah.
And you're not being attacked while this is happening. You're, I'm saying, so you have all the time in the world to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's fun, and of course there's some that move the game forward, the story, and there's some that are just there to be extra. So, but the guy they got to do his voice is uncanny. I know I've said it many times on the show.
I need to check that out. Chris is just saying that Mark Hamill does a wicked Harrison Ford. I've heard Mark's Harrison. Yeah. Mark Harrison is
a very talented voice actor, obviously. Yeah, Mark's a very
and Mark is a very accomplished voice actor.
He will be the best Joker ever, in my opinion. I don't care.
For always.
The hell with Heath Ledger.
I agree. Yep.
So now he does the best one, especially from the Arkham series of video games. Again, we're going back to the video games, but that's why I always think, if they continue to make good video games in these genres, in these franchises, the fact there's not a new movie is okay as long as they're doing, because to me it's just as fun to play him at a video game as it is to watch on the screen.
Yeah.
So
Jeff is saying the bit with the hat at the end felt like the ending of Bugs Bunny. Yes, because the circle closing or the aperture or the camera.
I thought the hat. I don't know. Was supposed to see? I got that the hat was there as kind of like, "Don't come in," or like this is our.
Oh, I took it as literally like he's hung up his hat, and then nope, he has not hung up his hat.
Oh, I thought they were. That was a sign that they were canoodling.
I don't know. You guys can type in the comments which one of us you think is right, and let me know if you disagree and you think Dial of Destiny was the bomb.com. Let me know. I want to know.
Good. I mean, I don't really think
you don't have to back off your love of Dial of Destiny just because I found it boring. I have the attention span of
I think to find it boring, I think is kind of an extreme.
It was so boring. It was just
I watch TV all the time, and I'm always looking at my phone. That's unfortunately that's where we're at now.
What do you guys say? Do you do that too? Am I the only one? Do you guys watch TV with your phone or your laptop or your tablet in hand, or do you just sit and watch
My
TV?
phone is usually accessible, and there will be times if I find, I don't know, it's become an addiction. Like you just have to get up.
Yeah, I will stop and look actors up. Like, wait, I know that actor. What else was he in?
I do all the time. That I do all the time. I've known this person. She was in something. What else were they in? And you look it up, and we do that all the time.
Yeah, I do that. But if I'm
watching just recently, and I was like, I know that guy, and I was right. What was it we were watching? Oh, it was
Bill says he looks up the actors too. Your man.
It was Wednesday. We were watching Wednesday. I think it was the second to last episode of Wednesday, or maybe the last. And
maybe you looked at one of those.
And it was the guy the actor from Starship Troopers. There, Van whatever. The guy, the main actor from Starship Troopers. That
he was Wednesday. That was in Starship Troopers.
He was the guy. So he was only in the one episode. He was the guy that was supposed to be the cult leader. That Steve Buscemi talks at the bar at the beginning of the episode. He's the bartender.
He was in Starship Troopers.
That's Richie. What Van whatever the heck his name is. The actor.
Casper Van Diem.
Yeah, that's him.
My god!
I did I'm like, I don't recognize him in the bar.
Really? Oh my god! Hang on. While I'm looking this up because my mind is now blown. Chris LaRoche has announced that Michael Rizzo is now a member of the Hat Squad, which is a very high honor indeed. Wednesday season 2 cast.
Hat Squad. This one I've had. This is
and Billy Piper. The other one that was in Wednesday season 2 was Billy Piper and Joanna Lumley. You guys, Wednesday season 2 was popping off pretty good.
It was pretty good. It was a little. I thought it was. They brought in the family a little bit more than they probably should have. Morticia and as much as I like them, and I don't have a problem with it. It got away from just her at the school.
Haley Joel Osment.
I do love the guy playing Fester. Is doing a great job playing Fester on that show.
I am not seeing that guy. What episode was it?
Was the second to last episode or the last episode?
I think there might have been a flashback.
He's not even listed. You got to go to his IMDb. Go to his from and look at and back. That's why I had to do it in reverse because I could not find it on the Wednesday page, but I did find it on his, and it shows that he was in Wednesday.
Gideon Sterling. Yes.
No, that's not his name.
Yeah, that's the character's name. Casper Van Dien.
The character's name. Yes, the character's name. Yes, sorry.
Wow, my mind has been blown.
Mind blown.
Good job, man. Because that's like a game we play when we're watching stuff.
I play voiceover stuff.
Oh, is that guy?
Yeah, I do voiceover. I mean, like I always try to. Whose voice is that? So, but Chris, the hat is the actual Indiana Jones. You can see the pin. I got this at Disney.
Jeff agrees. Jeff agrees with me. My biggest issue with Dial of Destiny is Indy's sidekick Phoebe, who we were talking about, Helena, treats him like crap. Yeah. I agree. I completely agree, Jeff. It was especially after you had Short Round screaming, "I love you," and then you had this chick.
His other sidekicks were supporting him, and this one's always kind of being divisive. So,
Lord, it's 8 o'clock. All right, let me super fast tell you guys that Roy, this Friday. This Friday? No, not this Friday. Roy's taking some time off because he just got back from Los Angeles where they had the big Space 1999. On Friday, October 3rd. They're doing They Live, the 1988 cult classic horror film. They live. And Phil will have Derek Schulman from the legendary progressive rock band Gentle Giant on Captain Phil's Planet tomorrow. And he's also doing a yard sale. He does yard sales, and because he sells stuff and he has an eBay. You know, Phil, you should give me your eBay and I should put it up for people. Phil has all kinds of cool stuff for sale. So, and Rizzo, what are we doing next week?
We're gonna have Phil on. I think we already said it, but we're gonna have Phil on, and we're gonna do V for Vendetta.
We're gonna do V for Vendetta,
which isn't really sci-fi, but it's sort of dystopian.
It's kind of dystopian, yeah, not truly sci-fi, but very dystopian. I'm feeling like we could all use a little inspiration. If Endor wasn't inspiring enough, maybe V for Vendetta will inspire you.
So yeah, so that's when Phil wanted to do, and then I don't know beyond that we're gonna be close to.
And then it's October, guys.
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna do some.
So excited for Halloween.
Fun Halloween type.
We're gonna do some Ghostbusters 2 for sure, and then beyond that, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know what else we're gonna do.
Rizzo, here's the thing: Rizzo loves Ghostbusters 2, and all the rest of us are like Ghostbusters 2.
I don't love it more than the original.
You said you quoted it all the time.
I do quote it all the time, but love is a strong word. I mean, I don't.
Really
I think it gets a lot of harsh.
Ooh, they're excited about V. Bill says it's a good movie.
I just think it gets a lot of harsh criticism it doesn't deserve. So that's
all right. Fair enough. It's been a hot minute since I've seen Ghostbusters 2, so I'm looking forward to seeing that again.
I mean, it's got some good lines in it. So anyway, on that note, kids. I think we're good. So, but yeah, we'll come up with some stuff. Of course, you could always suggest stuff, guys, out there. We like suggestions, and of course, I'm sure at the end of the month we're going to do the crossover with Roy and Ross as we always
probably will. I should reach out to him.
We have not really scheduled that yet. Probably won't do it on the Friday of Halloween because we're going to be in Thai that day.
I will be in Ticonderoga.
I don't know what James's plans for events, if it's just going to be till they close or.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a normal day, but it'll be moonlight tours all day. James has not mentioned any special guests yet, so I guess Rizzo, you and I are the special guests.
We're it. Not that special. I'm gonna probably I'm gonna roll out the Monster Maroon though. So
yes, I think it looks good. I think everyone's gonna be excited to see it. So.
Yeah. All right. On that note, I will say good night. We'll see you next week. Live long and prosper.
With V for Vendetta.
May the force be with you always. Good night.